One, two, three, four.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode or another phone-in of the Hull Say It Best live phone-in. I'm joined by a couple of guests tonight, so when they get in, I will run live with this. Apologies if anything lags behind. I've got a new setup, so things are not my end looking too good. So we'll take it a step at a time, and if the quality's poor, I'll find a solution for the next one. The purpose of these is literally for anybody and everybody to jump in and have their say. I realised myself there was an opportunity when, for example, without mentioning radios or anything like that, there's an opportunity for people to have their say who don't always get the chance to have their say. Maybe they're shy, whatever the opportunity is, this is a platform for somebody to come on, have their say and feel no pressure at all. So with that in mind, the first person I've got on is somebody that's close by to myself, massive Hull City fan. His name is Ziggy.
Have a mate.
How you doing, Ziggy? All right?
Yeah, good you.
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Not too bad. All going well. Let's open forum, mate. Open forum. So this is basically to talk about anything and everything, whether it be how the club's been run at the moment, what your thoughts are on the previous game, if you've got anything going on about the next game. What I'll open the floor up to you. What do you want to start with?
Well, firstly, deal with Friday night.
Yeah.
Look really good. First 20 minutes, really, really good. Going forward, the lad we've brought in from Villa, massive quality.
Yeah, I agree.
Willing to take on players, which is something we've lacked massively. Someone that will drive forward and commit a defender and say, well, you know what, I'm going to beat you, so try and stop me.
Exactly.
And we've had Ryan Longman. Longman's great, he's quick, he's direct, but he just does not have that quality that the new lad brings in.
It's nowhere near the same, is it? It's nowhere near the same. It was direct, much like Philogene, but he didn't have the same end quality. And like you say, if you put the two next to each other, you know which one you're probably going to pick, right?
Oh, all day long. And I've seen people giving Louis Coyle pelters. Louis a 7 out of 10 every week. You know what you're going to get from Louis. He might not have the quality we all crave from a fullback in the modern game, but you look at that whip from Crossley's. Me and you have both said it.
Yeah,
he's going to create chances. So
yeah. Sorry,
it's almost worth saying, could you get away with playing Louis as a left back to make way for Christie? Because Vinagre, for me, just didn't look at the races on Friday night.
He had a bad game, didn't he?
Yeah.
He definitely had a bad game. But you skip back to the Leicester game, and he had a good game. And this is football all over, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very rare you see at the championship level somebody to have a good game every single week. And I think we need to be, as a fan base, a little bit more realistic with some of the players when it comes down to that sort of thing. You want to know yourself, like in your own job you do on your day to day, you're not going to do everything correct every single day, and we're all prone to mistakes. But yeah, I agree in terms of what you're saying in terms of Coyle. I don't think Pelters are fair. I used to give him a bit of stick last season. I say a bit of stick, that's probably even unfair. I wasn't even that harsh. But he wasn't as good as Christie last season. So that's why whenever you saw Coyle in the team sheet over Christie, he was a bit bemused. But this year, Coyle has done everything he can do to keep that shirt, and I don't understand why there would be any stick against him.
For me, he's been best player so far this season.
Most consistent, 100%.
And I love Cyrus Christie. The kid's phenomenal. But you can't justify dropping Louis.
Two different players. Although they play the same position, they're two different players.
Yeah.
Louis does get forward, but he won't go beat his man. He won't make the direct defender in front of him defend. He ain't going to run at him. He ain't going to do the step overs. He ain't going to try and make that guy commit. His job is to get that ball in the box. He's sticking to his strengths. His strength is he's got an unbelievable cross. At this level,
that overlap, and you give him the ball to his feet, he will create that chance.
100%, and we've seen some good chances come off the back of it. Granted, not all of them are related to. Not all of them have returned a goal, but we have seen these happen, which is always good to see. It really is. It's really good to see. That's Friday night. We speak of Philogene being good. We speak of Louis Coyle being good. What did you think going into the game?
I said I'd take a point Friday night if it meant we'd definitely get 3 on Wednesday, which I know everyone would snap Rams off. But I watched Leeds yesterday. We're going to have to be really careful on Wednesday night where we knock the ball about that back four, because they press so well.
I was speaking to somebody about this recently. Now is probably the best time to play them. With Daniel Farke coming in, he's always going to do something good for him. We all know he plays football. He likes to play that good attacking style. Elements of total football with a high press. We know that that's what he's capable of getting out of a team, but it's still early days for him, which is the thing that works in our favour a little bit. We've had a full pre-season, so in my opinion, I think we would like to think this is the best time to play him. Come April, it could be a completely different game.
Oh, definitely.
Is the way I'm looking at it. There's still, things work well against Millwall. They got the job done. How that is come April is a different story.
Yeah. We might catch them in second or third gear, and if we're at our best, that could be enough to catch them and say, well, we'll get the win. But as you say, come April, they've got the squad to say they're going to be top 6, and they'll be firing back end the season. So if we get them out of the way now, then all the better for us.
Yeah, I think I've just got to go back and go over that a little bit. I don't mean I'm thinking we'll beat them this week and then we'll lose in April. What I mean is, if I think we'll play the best version of Leeds in April.
Oh, definitely.
But you said about top 6. I think we've got a good enough squad to make top 6.
Oh yeah.
Outside looking in, we was all a bit optimistic, thinking, we could maybe go for a playoff push at the beginning of the season. And now we've seen the way we started, barring Norwich and Bristol City games. We look good. We do look good, and I think that only opens up the door for us to be optimistic. And why not? Why not dream? Why not dream of the 2007s? When we got to go up, we'd love nothing more, right?
Well, that's it. It's like I didn't see the Sheffield Wednesday game. I was down at Wembley with Rovers, but I've seen enough. You know me, mate. I'm past order at birth, so it's a case of damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Can't win.
The annoying thing is, I went round to our kids and he just said to me, "Should we sack off Revs and go to City?" And I was just like, "We can do." He goes, "But then City will get beaten, Revs will win." So
Flip reverse it. Love
yeah,
that.
it's.
Absolutely love it.
But I've seen enough footage from that game to say we dominated a side who absolutely walked that division last year for 90% of it. And everyone's saying, "Oh yeah, they were best side in that league." And Plymouth have come up and they've held their own. And you've seen what Wednesday have done, and they
And
just like
Ipswich.
got up the depth. Yeah, exactly. And so you're saying, well, we've dominated one of the better sides, potentially.
I think truth is with Chef Wednesday, it always seemed like it was going to be one of those. Yeah, I don't want to say the word easy, but I got the impression it was going to be an easy game. I wasn't too concerned going into it. Looking at the preseason, they had a lack of players coming in. The loss of the manager that was, the spearhead behind everything that they did last year. Nothing's really in their corner to do well, and then they go and scrape a point at Leeds. So, that is this league. That is this league down to a T, isn't it? That's just
Yeah, it's a
exactly what it
mental
was.
league.
Yeah.
It's probably the toughest league in England for me.
Yeah, I'd agree. In terms of getting out of it, staying consistent in it, another prime example of that is Middlesbrough. Look at the way they was last season and where they are now. That they've got nothing going for them. If you was a Middlesbrough fan, you'd be concerned right now.
I'm actually amazed that Steve Gibson not pulled the trigger on Michael Carrick and said, "You know what? You're a flash in the pan."
Yeah, it's all good when it comes in. It's all brand new, but your real salt is made when you struggle and you can turn it around. And to be fair, not many managers are given that chance nowadays. But they're giving him that shot there. What's your predictions for Wednesday night? I keep thinking it's tomorrow night, isn't it? But it's Wednesday night.
Yeah, completely throws me because City have always traditionally been Tuesday night.
Yeah,
but
what's Wednesday all about?
I think we can sneak it, and I'm never positive. I think we can. If we catch them, we can do them 2-1.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
It can go a couple of ways, can't it? It really can go a couple of, and I don't think whichever one of the three ways it can go, we'd be shocked. It's just the nature, like you say, the nature of this league. So to put it into a bit of context, I'd like to think we can beat them. This is our time to confidently and comfortably beat them, I think. I know they're going to come in with high spirits on the back of a 3-0 win, after an international break, but going to our place, we're not easy to beat. Not many teams are dominating us and beating us except Norwich, and that took a very very late goal to a very dodgy decision. So
yeah,
I think we're hard to beat. I don't back us losing. I don't think I've been saying to back us losing based on everything we've seen. Who do you think's gonna keep the place in the team?
For me, you can't drop Ingram. Everyone's saying drop him. You've got to play Allsop. And it's my bugbear. I've spoken to Cardiff fans. I'm mates with Cardiff fans. They've said they're laughing their heads off that we paid money for Allsop. Like,
You get that with all fans.
Yeah, he's a ball player, but he can't goalkeep.
Yeah, I've heard that. To be fair, I've heard that the ball at his feet is good.
So if we're playing a ball player in goal, why don't we just play Seri in there? There's no better ball player at the club. If we're not bothered about actual goalkeepers doing the job.
And that's one way to get Morton, Seri and Slater on the pitch at the same time, right?
Well, yeah, we all know your love of Riggs.
I'm a little bit upset about this. A lot of the talk I'm seeing at the moment and team predictions I'm seeing at the moment are taking Slater out for Morton, and this is so classic modern day fan, isn't it? One guy comes on, plays 20 minutes, and all of a sudden you have to drop last year's player of the season to fit him in the squad. Granted, he had a good 20 minutes, but you've still got to work your way into the squad, and you can't do that on the back of 20 minutes. It might happen. Don't know what that was. It might happen on the back of the fact it's 2 games in a short space of time, but it's Friday and Wednesday. It's not like it's a Saturday to Tuesday, so I don't see
No,
why
it's
the
not
players
until
wouldn't
10
be fit enough. So it's just a shorter gap than what a Saturday to Saturday is. So I don't see why he wouldn't keep much of the same team. Maybe Vinagre comes out, McLaughlin comes in, and Greaves out to the left. I don't honestly know. I don't honestly know, but
I
I'm liking
wouldn't
Greaves down the middle.
have issues with that change. But as you say, Greavesy Jones's partnership is second to none. And for me, Alfie Jones is the underrated one of the lot.
Yeah, I hate that. Absolutely hate that. Some just don't get it, do they? Some just do not get it. He had that bit of a torrid spell, didn't he? I can't remember what it was. I think it might be the first time back in the championship where he was just getting stuff wrong. But it's normal. But like I said at the beginning, people get stuff wrong. People make mistakes. It don't define them as a player. And we could spend the next 2 hours bending each other's ear about Harry Maguire and his mistakes and how that isn't just football. But again,
less said
it's
about that
the
one, the
nature of the
better,
game.
I'd have said.
Yeah, exactly that. What about Stoke? Stoke coming up on Sunday. First of all, why is it a 12 o'clock kickoff?
It's on
12
Sky, I
o'clock
think.
kickoff but 12 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday is a rare thing, right? Or am I just living under a rock?
I think it's Sky's new thing because Leeds Millwall was 12 yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh, right, okay.
So
Okay,
it's
that makes
Sky's way of
more
saying
sense.
we can dominate the Sunday viewing with 2 Premier League games. We'll stick a Championship game in there as a warm up.
Yeah,
They're
cheers.
laughing.
Yeah, we'll be the. I nearly swore. We'll be the guys that'll get up early in the morning and do the travelling for you. Saturdays at 12, I kind of get it, except for
Yeah.
the ridiculous kickoffs. But except for the ridiculous journeys, sorry. So like the Southampton to Sunderland stuff like that. That should never be a thing at a 12 o'clock kickoff. But I get it. I get it. Not every fan wants to go to the game nowadays, do they? The world's changing. Some people are happy just staying at home watching the football. That's the journey my dad's been on. My dad was the old school, went to every single game, and now he don't want to leave the house. He's happy staying at home watching the football. So it's just the journey that football fans go on, and the changes in the world in the last few years have probably played a big part in that.
Yeah, COVID's probably killed off the vast majority of the diehards who'll say, I'll be there week in, week out, no matter what, rain or shine.
I think we're a little bit different because we had Allams / COVID, didn't we?
Well, yeah.
Killed off, and no harm against to those people that they protested against, said, look, we're not going until Allams come back. They spent 4, maybe 5 years doing different stuff on a weekend, and it takes
You
lots to
find
go
stuff
back
to
to that,
do.
doesn't it? Yeah, you're getting new habits, new rhythms, and some have done that. Not everyone's come back that said they was leaving. So again, it's each to their own, and that's the beauty of this sport, isn't it? You can come and go as and when you please. So,
Yeah, you can drop in and out easy enough.
unless you support one of the big teams.
Well, I saw a tweet earlier on from Man United fan. Oh, we have it so tough. It's so stressful supporting Man United, the daily traumas we go through. It's like, get a grip.
Do you know what?
You've dominated the generation for football.
Who did they play at the weekend? It was Brighton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they played Brighton, and I was watching the highlights on Match of the Day, and I can't remember who scores for Brighton, but the player runs off towards the stand, celebrate, and there's a guy with a half and half scarf in the Man U end recording the Brighton celebration. I'm like,
Oh,
I understand modern day football, but that is just too far for me. I don't get it. Like, he's in the home end recording a celebration of a team that's just scored against him. So he's clearly just a day tripper, which again, you can be, you can be a day tripper, can't you? Maybe just have a day tripper section, do you know what I mean? For people who are just buying on the day and want a day out with a family.
Fulham do that.
Oh, do they?
Fulham have a neutral zone.
I didn't know
next to the away fans, yeah.
Oh, good place to put them.
Yeah. Which I suppose creates a natural segregation if we don't support either side.
That's really good.
I
Because
cannot.
a lot of visitors to London, isn't it? So that makes perfect
Yeah,
sense.
but the half and half scarf summed up for me perfectly at Leicester the other week. A
What was
Jamie
that?
Vardy, Louis Coyle half and half scarf.
Who's making that? And why do they think there's a return on investment for that? There is no gap in the market for that. Who's doing it? Stop it. Now.
On no planet should anyone be making it, thinking it, and even worse, buying it.
That is beyond bonkers. Oh, okay. Yeah, we move on from that. We move on from that. Here's a hypothetical for you then, Ziggy. I want to ask you this as a Hull City fan for as long as you have been. If you was working in a different city, so you couldn't make the Hull games, would you go watch another team just to get your football fix?
I've lived in Loughborough and I went and watched Loughborough Dynamo, and I pick and choose my City games when I could.
Oh, really?
So I went non-league.
What about bigger than non-league? What's Loughborough? What's close to Loughborough?
Leicester.
Ah,
And Leicester
would
were
you have gone to
Premier
a
League
Leicester
at the
game?
time. I didn't. Did not
You
go and
did?
watch any Leicester. I just completely bypassed professional football. Other than jumping
Oh,
on train and saying that I'll go to City.
fair enough. Well, I worked in the Midlands for a year, and my hotel was literally like 200-meter walk from the Hawthorns, and I regularly went to go watch West Brom, or whichever way I could get a ticket for. I'd go try and get in the away end, try and get in the home end,
Yeah.
whichever, just to get my football fix. It was that or sit in an hotel, so I thought, oh, I'd rather go watch
Yeah,
this.
there's now
Second
more
question.
soul destroying.
Second question: Would you join in with a chance, or just sit, or just maybe clap along?
I've been to games as neutral, and it's the quietest I've ever been at games. I've even been to, I hate to say it, Leeds games as a neutral.
Oh, really?
When they played Champions League, they used to play Wednesday nights in Champions League.
Yeah.
So I'd do City on a Tuesday night, and loads of my mates season ticket holders at Leeds. Oh, do you fancy a ticket for Leeds? Hang on, man, it's 15 quid. So I was watching AC Milan, Real Madrid when we were playing basement football. So I go watch City Carlisle on a Tuesday night, and then go and watch Leeds Barcelona, well, Leeds Real Madrid on a Wednesday. It's like,
It's
well,
crazy.
I'm never going to get these two worlds clashing.
It's worlds
And
apart. Worlds apart, like
and
exactly that.
it summed up perfectly. The night Paul Robinson made his debut for Leeds, they played Barcelona, and Robinson on a worldie kept out Rivaldo and everyone. I
Leconfield,
turned
isn't he?
down ticket. Yeah,
Right.
he's Leconfield lad. I turned down ticket for that to go and watch City play Plymouth, and we'd really know. And my mates were like, "You missed an absolute awesome game." I was just like, "I was at City, so what?"
Yeah, exactly that. You put your own team first, don't you? But you
Yeah,
know what I was doing, I couldn't get back, so that's why I was treating myself to that. I did join in with a chant. I joined in with, I can't remember what the chant was now, but it was I was in the away end with Bristol City against West Brom. Just joined in with a random chant. I was like, I kind of know this. Pretty much all chants are the same, aren't they? It's just
yeah,
a different player's name in there. So I was like, I was a player. Yeah, go on then. I'll have a bit of that. Just join in, bit of the atmosphere. It was a good little evening out. A couple of beers and yeah, all good, all good. I was a lot younger then, so I don't know if I'd do it now. I think the only way I'd probably join in with a chant is if me and Zoe went to a Celtic match together. With her being a big Celtic fan, I'd probably join in with that.
yeah,
Although she wouldn't join in with a whole chant, so I might have to rethink that one.
yeah. She's stubborn, is Zoe.
She really is. On the flip side, then, on the flip side, we've briefly touched over Leeds United. Give me a run through as to what your team would be.
Ingram in goal.
Yep.
I'd go Christie at right back, Coyle left back,
Nice.
Jones Greaves, Seri Slater, because I refuse to buy that Tyler Morton deserves his start on 20 minutes, because that could be as much as adrenaline saying, It's my debut. I want to make an
Exactly.
impact.
Let's not deny it. He looked good. He had a good.
He did look
He had
good.
a good game, and he ultimately got the assist for the equalising goal. There is that, but like you say, there's more to getting in the starting 11 than a 20-minute cameo. We've got to look at Connolly, for instance.
Yeah. If Ozan's fit, I'm bringing him straight back in.
What's the latest on that? Have you heard anything? I ain't seen any interviews today. There's a couple of interviews.
Rosie reckons that he's there or thereabouts. I'm bringing him straight back in if he's fit.
Where's he playing? Who with?
I'm probably playing front. In fact, I probably wouldn't play in front three. I'd play him as that last midfielder.
Yeah.
And then Philogene, you can't drop on that performance.
No, not at all.
Liam Black's been phenomenal. So I'm not dropping him. So that front line stays as is.
Twine's your last man.
Yes, got it Twine.
Sum up his performance against Coventry for me. What did you think?
I'm yet to see it.
Yeah.
But with all the hype, I trust Rosie. Yeah, he got it wrong with Abeli. But he's learned. I'd like to think he's learned from that. But he's put all his eggs in the Scott Twine basket. And he's not going to do that twice and make a mistake twice, surely.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. And when you're looking at judgment of players, we all thought when Ebiowi came in, we was getting somebody like Philogene, and we couldn't have got anything further away, could we? You might as well have had Michael Dean.
Yeah.
It was awful. There was nothing compelling about him, and you wouldn't be surprised if you saw him playing in League Two next season. And that because somebody took a punt on him because he was ex-Prem before he drops down to National League or step whatever. Because there wasn't a football in there for me. Greatest respect to the guy for turning up every day and doing his bit, but he wasn't good enough.
His one redeeming feature.
Go on.
Everyone said to me the same thing. He's a poor man's Theo Whitmore. He looked like Theo Whitmore. He's got all the leg movements to say, yeah, I can do this. But the end product was just like, yeah, where is it?
I don't even think it was so much end product. Like, he literally didn't want it. People came near him, didn't want it. Someone who's coming near him hard, didn't want it. He literally didn't want anything. That was the tough part to take in. For a fan, you go, God, we'd do stuff to get on this pitch and be able to have the opportunity to play ball at this level. And you literally don't feel like you don't seem like you want to wear the shirt. It didn't make any sense. For me, I thought open play. Twine had a good game, open play, but his set piece was wasteful. The first two corners, I thought this must be a tactic. This has to be a tactic because nobody hits shin height. Shin height. But there's got to be some. It's got to be some sort of tactic. But that one we won't know, will we? We won't know.
And as for the free kick specialist, that we've been promised, I've done a little bit of research. He scored one free kick last year. Free kick he scored.
Apparently, he's got more than JWP in the last 2 years.
Well, from what I can track down, he scored one free kick last year, and it was against Blackburn.
It might have been.
Which is why Burnley fans love him.
It might have been. He's got more championship free kicks than JWP. It could have been that because. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Again, I don't.
You wouldn't mind if he was clicking the bar.
Yeah. But credit where it's due as well, because he had some poor ones and he got back in and he tried again.
Yeah.
Many people would have said, "No, you don't. You're the next one. You're the next one. I'm having a bit of a stinker here," but he kept on going. It tells you he's got belief in himself, which is one of the things you do want in a player.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we had Ozan on the pitch, Because Ozan, after a third one, would have said, you know what, I'll have a go.
Probably. He's that kind of player. He comes across like that kind of player, doesn't he? And
Yeah.
not in a rude way.
He's got the arrogance, but he's got the end product to go with it.
Yeah. So for me, I think you're pretty nailed on there in terms of the starting lineup. The only tough thing for me is we would probably see Liam Delap move outright. And the reason I say outright is because of Louis Coyle. Louis Coyle's role in this formation is to be higher up the pitch, which would then relieve some duties of Liam Delap defensively, if that makes sense. That's the best way I can kind of look at it. I think it would be Liam Delap and push out to the right, and if Ozan's fit, he'll probably come move up Connolly. But I think Liam's got enough players in his team, in his squad, to not have to rush Ozan back. So you might see it unchanged.
It wouldn't shock me.
No.
And I wouldn't be disappointed.
It could be last chance saloon for Dwight to say, look, you've had 3-4 shots now. I'm going to give somebody else go if I don't see a performance. Because I think there was 7 shots from him.
Yeah.
So I dare to look at what the XG was. But
this XG thing, it drives me mad because you probably know St. Pauli, my side in Germany, they scored 5 yesterday with an XG of 0.7. So where they're pulling these XG stats from or what exactly defines as a goal scoring chance is beyond me. So I pay no heed to XG anymore.
For me, it's a bit of a marketing pull, really, isn't it? I say marketing, people are going to think I'm on about like, what the marketing is. It's another ploy to get people looking at it. You know, people are looking at it. It's something new to look at. It's something interesting. It's different, and it gets people talking about it. You know, we could go on for days again about different things that have come into the game about that, like the new numbers for players. Apparently, CDM's a 6 now, and we saw that against us. Their CDM was a number 6 on Friday, and for me, old school 5 and 6 are centre backs. 6 is not a CDM.
4 is your CDM if you have a CDM.
Used to be.
Yeah.
Not anymore, apparently. But you know,
remember the old school, Matt.
Yeah, we're old school. This is I should have put my old top on instead of this one. But yeah, I'll be honest with you, Ziggy, that kind of rounds everything up. We haven't had many more people knocking on the door to join in tonight, but we're back to doing them weekly, which is a good thing, and it means that there'll be more opportunities for people in the future to come on, and when they see the consistency, fingers crossed, they will join in. One thing I will ask from everybody is, if you have ever watched an episode or ever seen any of the content and you've liked it, please feel free to do the stuff that helps me, which is a like, a subscribe, a repost on any sort of tweet or post you put on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. It really does help, because the bigger I get, the more chance I've got of bringing in bigger and better names. You've already seen it already. Eddie Richards, the club DJ, has decided to join me as a co-host because apparently playing football alongside me isn't enough. He now wants to speak about Hull City with me as well on an open platform.
Just can't get enough of you, mate.
He just can't get enough. He just can't get enough. Exactly that. So yeah, thank you for joining, Ziggy. Very much appreciated. And everybody else, if you could still please hit anything like that, that is a massive help. Thanks a lot, everyone.
See you later, mate.
See you later, buddy.
One.